to exercise his right to free speech, and to exercise his right to protest and to speak out against the genocide. Why must our freedom, our so-called equality, come at the cost of silence? Why are we asked to turn a blind eye when our brothers and sisters are being massacred? While their cries for help echo unanswered, Mahmoud's case is not an isolated one. It is a reflection of a system that punishes those who dare to speak the truth, those who dare to speak the truth to power, that demand silence in exchange for safety. But we will not be silent. Mahmoud Khalil's voice may be silenced for now, but ours will not be. We are here to say that dissent is not a crime. Protest is not a privilege, it is a right. And no one should have to choose between their freedom and their consciousness. To the authorities, we say you cannot demand silence in exchange for freedom. You cannot suppress the truth. Mahmoud Khalil is not alone. We are here and we will not be silent. We demand his immediate release. We demand an end to the targeting of activists. And we demand that this nation live up to its promise of liberty and justice for all. We will not compromise our freedom so that we can protest, our right to protest. And we will not compromise our right to protest so that we may be free. We will not compromise our right to equality by giving up our freedom and giving up our right to protest. All three rights are provided to all of us, and we will exercise them whether they like it or not. We are here on behalf of Mahmoud Khalil. We are here on behalf of everyone that is here. This is the exact reason Mahmoud Khalil was arrested. Every single one of us is a target. Mahmoud Khalil was arrested for standing where I am standing and where all of you are standing. And where all of us will be standing in DC and all the upcoming protests, because they will not stop. We will not stop the protests. We will not stop to voice our opinions, because they are not opinions, these are facts that we are stating. We are stating an ongoing genocide that the world continues to turn a blind eye on. This is the least that we can do for our brothers and sisters facing a genocide. We have our voice, and we will not allow our voice to be suppressed by those who don't like it, by those who are continuing to fund the genocide, by those who are committing the genocide. We will not remain silent. We are here on behalf of Mahmoud Khalil, and I'm here on behalf of all of us, and you are all here on behalf of each other. So thank you all for coming out, and free Mahmoud Khalil.
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Release Mahmoud right now!
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 Just as our last two speakers said, our movement draws its strength from their community members. Our movement draws its strength from students, from teachers, from workers, from people who are on the right side of history, who are not just calling for the freedom of Mahmoud Khalil, but are calling for the freedom of Palestine and the liberation of Palestine. Please help us welcome our next speaker, Imam Wesley, who's a community leader.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. I commence in the name of God Almighty. Beloved brothers and sisters, we are living in times that are meant to scare us into submission. Times where they want us to fold up and put away our faith and our courage. Times where they seek to divide and conquer our minds, our hearts, and our souls. Times where they seek to threaten us with deportation back to our lands. Times where they would try to claim that we are terrorists. Times that will be filled with claims that are falsely attributed to us so they can try to silence us, so they can try to frighten us, so they can try to weaken us. But the believer is never weakened. The believer never fears. The believer is never afraid. The believer cannot be shaken. The believer cannot be frightened. The believer never abandons the believers, because the believers only fear the Lord of the heavens and earth. The believers only fear the Lord of the heavens and earth. And God, on that great day, he will roll the earth up in his hand and he will say, Ana al-Malik, Aina muluk al-Ard. I am the king. Where are the kings of the earth today? Trump, you are no king. Trump is no Lord. Trump is no God. Allah got rid of the Pharaoh of this world, the Pharaoh of this world, and drowned him and his army. All the power and all the control in the world could not help him. He also thought that he was the most high. He thought that he was the most powerful. He thought that he could abuse the believers, but the Lord of justice, the Lord of might, the Lord of strength brought him to account. God Almighty in that moment illustrated that the power belongs to him and only him, that no matter how powerful a people may be, a country may be, a government may be, that none is more powerful than the creator of the heavens and earth, the one who controls the oceans, the heavens, the earth, and all that is in it. Trump, don't get it mixed up. Don't get it confused. We are not terrorists. We are not criminals. We are not those who seek to harm innocent men, women, and children. We are not from those who carpet bomb. We are not from those who terrorize families in the middle of the night. We are not from those who blow up hospitals. We are not from those who blow up children's schools. We are not from those who shoot innocent men and women in the head when trying to go out and seek humanitarian aid. We are not from those who imprison innocent families, women and children, and then torture them. We are not from those who snatch people off the streets here in the United States of America, just like our brother Mahmoud Khalil was snatched from his home at night. The president of this country has lost his mind. He fears the power of our constitutional freedoms that give us a voice, that give us the right of freedom of speech, that give us the right to be citizens of this great country. A country made of immigrants that live and reside on stolen land, that give us the right to stand up for justice and stand up against inequality. Trump, the Constitution that gives us a right to say that you are a bigot, you are a fascist, you are a racist. Trump, you are a pharaoh who supports terrorism, the killing of innocent men, women, and children. Your ceasefire was a facade. Your ceasefire was a charade. Your ceasefire was a lie. These lies that they want to feed the world. They don't want the world to be awakened by voices like Mahmoud Khalil and all of the others at universities and protests and more. Because these voices make the truth visible. These voices help reality become clear. That their support, Trump's support for Zionists, Trump's support for Zionist maniacs and terrorists is the call of today. So today, in ending, Mr. President, we want to say that we are clear about who we are. We are the believers who stand up for God's people. We are the believers who stand up for justice, regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of your color, your race, and where you come from. We are the believers who believe in the constitutional freedoms that we have been granted that you, Mr. Trump, are trying to take away from us. We believe that you can beat us, that you can imprison us, that you can torture us, that you can lie about us. But the one thing you can't do, Mr. President, is that you can't silence us. For every Mahmoud Khalil that you oppress, Mr. President, for every child and innocent woman that you kill, Mr. President, for every support of Zionist terrorism that you support, Mr. President, you will only further raise the voices and hearts of millions of believers who will say, we can't be silenced. We will not go away as long as there is air to breathe, land to live on, and voices to scream and yell from mountaintops. We will continue to exist and we will continue to survive. I end with the cries of our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil. Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil. Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for us and He is the best disposer of affairs.
Thank you, Imam. We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Bring Mahmoud home now.
Bring Mahmoud home now.
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Hands up for students now.
Hands up our students now.
We want to bring up our next speaker, Amy from the New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice.
Good morning. My name is Amy. I'm with New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice. We are the state's largest immigration coalition. We are the state's largest immigration coalition in a state that has a higher proportion of immigrants than New York, than Arizona, than Texas, and then Florida. And together, 60 organizations from every corner of the state fight for policies that empower and protect immigrants. What does it look like to protect immigrants? It means showing up and showing out on days like this to demand that our rights are respected, to demand that our civil liberties are upheld. And what does it mean to empower immigrants? It means organizing to make sure that the systems that lock us behind bars, that deny us due process, that violate our rights and deny our civil liberties are confronted and destroyed. Most of all, that means ICE. It is no surprise that ICE arrested Mahmoud Khalil. This is an agency born in the nationalist fervor of post-9/11 xenophobia. From its inception, ICE has only targeted people that are part of the political fringe. They have only targeted people that they view to be voiceless, and they exercise their ability to indefinitely detain and deport people as a means of being a tool of a fascist regime. We know that Mahmoud was not the first. Here in New Jersey at Elizabeth Detention Center, the very same place where he first was detained, Hector Garcia Mendoza was a whistleblower who filed a class action lawsuit against ICE. What did ICE do? Against a court order, they transferred him. Against a court order, they deported him to Mexico. This was in 2020. No one has heard from Hector since. Why does ICE do this? Because they know detention is bad, but they also know deportation is deadly. That's why they went after Mahmoud. That's why they've gone after Jeanette Vizguera in Colorado, a 30-year immigration activist. That's why they went after a farm worker labor leader, to make sure that they are silencing those that they believe to be the least politically powerful. Yes, this is about Palestine, and also this is not about Palestine. This is about this administration taking the issue that they believe is the least sympathetic and making an example out of the people that they arrest so that they can dehumanize the issue, they can dehumanize the actors, they can dehumanize the people standing up as a means of going after every single one of us. It's Palestine today, but it's every single issue that we care about tomorrow. If we cannot stand up for this, we will not be able to stand up for anything else because there will be fewer and fewer and fewer of us left. In my family's native language, there's a saying, Huwag matakot. It means do not be afraid. This was a chant used during the Marcos regime to overthrow people in power. The same regime that was disappearing people through political arrest. The same regime that was killing people. It is not that different from where we are today. They're using fear as the jail cell that exists in our minds. If they do not detain us physically, they are trying to detain us spiritually as a means of silencing us, and we are here to say, not on our watch. When I say immigrant, you say power. Immigrant. Power. Immigrant. Power. When I say immigrant, you say power. Immigrant. Power. Immigrant. Power. Free Mahmoud. Free all political prisoners detained by ICE. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Our next speaker is Muhammad from American Muslims for Palestine. Please help us welcome him.
Release Mahmoud right now. Release Mahmoud right now. I begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the Avenger of the oppressed, and the Guardian of all those in distress. We stand here on the final Friday of the blessed month of Ramadan. A holy time for Muslims around the world, for Muslims in Palestine who commemorated this month in famine, for Muslims and Palestine supporters here in the US who commemorated this month as the Trump administration began to escalate its war on our voices. It's been less than 3 weeks since Mahmoud was kidnapped. In that time, we've seen over half a dozen more Palestinian voices or supporters kidnapped as well. Shame. In that time, we've seen Israel break the ceasefire and commit what is now known as the Ramadan massacre, with over 700 people killed in less than 24 hours, 200 of them children. And the Trump administration will deport you for saying that. We are in this moment. We are facing this repression for one reason and one reason alone. It is because our movement is growing. It is because our movement is popular. It is because Americans are rejecting Israel's genocide. Our movement is taking on this fight for our country. There are those who claim to be in opposition to Trump, to be in opposition to the fascism that is coming out of this government, who claim to be against Doge, to claim to be in support of immigrant rights. But in this moment, they won't talk about Mahmoud Khalil. There are those in the political opposition who will say, we don't support what he said, but he shouldn't be arrested. No, Mahmoud didn't say anything wrong. And for those who refuse to stand for Palestine, we will remember, because our movement is fighting for justice for Palestine, and for justice in this country. This case is about the kind of America that we want. Will we live in a democratic nation that upholds its values, its constitution and laws, or will we allow it to be reshaped into an authoritarian state that suppresses dissent and silences justice? No. Our movement, like the people of Gaza, will not be defeated. Like the people of Gaza, we will not back down. We will not back down for Mahmoud. We will not back down for Liqa. We will not back down for any of our students, and we will not back down for Palestine. Thank you very much.
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Free Mahmoud right now!
Free Mahmoud right now!
Free Mahmoud right now!
Free Mahmoud right now!
We want to introduce our next speaker, Murad Awadeh from the New York Immigration Coalition, the president and CEO. As Amy had shared, this is not just a fight for Palestine. This is a fight for every person who is oppressed and marginalized. They are going to target each and every one of us, and it is important that we come out and fight like hell right now. So I would love to introduce Murad from the New York Immigration Coalition.
Thank you. And assalamu alaikum. My name is Murad Awauda. I'm the president and CEO of the New York Immigration Coalition. And we are living in some interesting times, brothers and sisters. We are living at the beginning of what is becoming an authoritarian regime.
Talk about it.
And why am I talking about authoritarianism in this moment is because it's important to notice what the signs are of what happens. And the first step is centralizing authority and executive dominance. The second step is the control of information and state propaganda. The third is the security apparatus and state surveillance. The fourth is them legitimizing their strategies. And the fifth is co-opting elites and institutions. The sixth is the divide and rule.
That's right.
And as we're standing here fighting for the freedom of Mahmoud Khalil, who has disappeared away from his family, away from his 8-month, almost 9-month now, pregnant wife who's about to give birth to their child. In a moment where you should be celebrating bringing new life into this world. And inshallah, she does and has an easy and quick recovery. And inshallah, we have Mahmoud by her side. Today is really important for a number of different reasons. Mahmoud was the first student, the first pro-Palestine supporting, protesting student who was disappeared. He's not the only anymore. They've disappeared Badr, they've disappeared Ramziya, Laika, and so many others. This is the fight we must fight in this moment to continue to demand their release. Because if they come for one of them, they're going to have to face us all. Because they're coming for all of us. And they started this administration by saying that they're going after, these violent criminals to deport them. That doesn't seem to be the case. They're not going after people who they shouldn't be going after anyone to begin with because people have the right to due process. But the reality is that they're going after every single person that does not align with their agenda. And we have to stand up and fight back. And the only way we can do that is if we're united. So today, we hope the court hears our voices. We hope that they order Mahmoud returned to New York and released. Because that is why we are all here. And I want to thank you all on a Friday morning making it out to Newark. I know many of you are from Jersey. Some of us are from New York. And it's about the New York-New Jersey unity. And I want to give a shout out to the New Jersey Immigrant Alliance for justice, for always showing up and showing out. And with that, I just want to leave you on a last message, which is we will see more of these types of actions. And regardless of what the excuse this administration gives, I urge you to continue to fight for justice. I urge you to continue to fight for one another. Because we are all bound to each other. And it is important and critical that we continue to show up. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. Let's keep the energy up. Let's make our solidarity heard from inside the courthouse. Let's do it. We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Release Mahmoud right now!
Release Mahmoud right now!
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Release Mahmoud right now!
Release Mahmoud right now!
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Hands off our students now!
Hands off our students now!
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Hands off our students now!
Hands off our students now!
We want justice, you say how?
We want
that way. I didn't see any airplanes.
ICE out of our communities now!
ICE out of our communities now!
We want justice, you say how?
Sweating just
We want
looking at it.
justice, you say how?
ICE out of our communities now!
ICE out of our communities now!
Up with liberation!
Up with liberation!
Down with deportation!
Down with deportation!
Up
people are by your side.
People are by your side.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
The students are by your side.
Students are by your side.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
The workers are by your side.
Workers are by your side.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
The students are by your side.
Students are by your side.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
The people are by your side.
People are by your side.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
Gaza, Gaza, you will rise.
The workers are by your side.
Workers are by your side.
When immigrant rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When student rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When Palestine is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Money for jobs and education,
Money for jobs and education.
not for war and deportation.
Not for war and deportation.
Money for jobs and education,
Money for jobs and education.
not for war and occupation.
Not for war and occupation.
Money for jobs and education,
Money for jobs and education.
not for war and deportation.
Not for war and deportation.
Money for jobs and education,
Money for jobs and education.
not for war and occupation.
Not for war and occupation.
Up, up with liberation.
Up with liberation.
Down, down with deportation.
Down, down with deportation.
Up, up with liberation.
Up with liberation.
Down, down with deportation.
Down, down with deportation.
Up, up with liberation.
Up with liberation.
Down, down with occupation.
Down, down with occupation.
Up, up with liberation.
Up with liberation.
Down, down with occupation.
Down, down with occupation.
Say it loud and say it clear.
Say it loud and say it clear.
ICE is not welcome here.
ICE is not welcome here.
Say it loud and say it clear.
Say it loud and say it clear.
ICE is not welcome here.
ICE is not welcome here.
Say it loud and say it clear.
Say it loud and say it clear.
ICE is not welcome here.
ICE is not welcome here.
Say it loud and say it clear.
Say it loud and say it clear.
ICE is not welcome here.
ICE is not welcome here.
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Free Mahmoud right now.
Free Mahmoud right now.
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Free Mahmoud right now.
Free Mahmoud right now.
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Hands off our students now.
Hands off our students now.
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Hands off our students now.
Hands off our students now.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Let's make some noise. Please give a warm welcome to our next speaker, Allison, from the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Today, we say enough is enough of the cruel and inhumane deportations tearing our communities apart. ICE is carrying out a massive invasions of our neighborhoods, hunting down our family members, our friends, our neighbors, and now our students. Shame! Let's be clear that targeting the persecution And the abduction of students who dare to take a stance against Palestine is a clear violation of human rights, regardless of their immigration status. It's been 20 days since Mahmoud Khalil was abducted from his home by ICE agents. It's been 3 days since Rumeisa Ozturk was also abducted by plainclothes agents. What happened to them and many others is a blatant attack on free speech, an attack made to send a clear message that fighting back will be punished. Trump is purposely persecuting leaders and participants of the massive movement against the genocide in Palestine. This is a mere tactic to instill fear on those who dare to oppose his policies and fight back. The repression of the pro-Palestine movement is only the beginning of his right-wing billionaire agenda to suppress our civil liberties. We can't let these attacks on our community go quietly. We need to take a stance now and let Trump know that we will stand up and fight to protect our rights. We are only witnessing this level of repression because they know that our movement is growing and will only continue to grow. They have not been able to suppress our knowledge and our commitment to Palestine, so they are now attempting to suppress our right to free speech. While the Trump administration here continues to attack social services at home, we have only seen an escalation to the genocide in Palestine. Trump has now directly endorsed an agenda of open ethnic cleansing, and still, the incredible and unbreakable resilience of the Palestinian people has awakened millions of people worldwide to a movement for liberation over the last 18 months. Now is not the time to be afraid. Now more than ever, it's the time to remain steadfast in our solidarity and our commitment to the struggle for a free Palestine. That is why on April 5th, we are taking the people's power to Washington, D.C. It's imperative that we show our strength and descend in overwhelming numbers. We're going to have buses leaving from here, New Jersey and New York. You can go purchase your ticket at marchforpalestine.org/bus. And it's important that every single one of you shows up. It's important that every single one of you shows up because we need to let Trump know that we have to stand up and fight back until all of our demands are met. Immediate and permanent ceasefire. Arms embargo now. Stop the repression at home. Stop the genocide and free Mahmoud. Up with liberation.
Up with liberation.
Down with deportation.
Down with deportation.
Up with liberation.
Up with liberation.
Down with deportation.
Down with deportation.
Up with liberation.
Up with liberation.
Down with deportation.
Down with deportation.
Up with liberation.
Up with liberation.
Down with deportation.
Down with deportation.
Please help us welcome our next speaker, Nolan from Noditol for Korean Community Development.
Thank you, Tiham. My name is Nolan, and I'm with Noditol for Korean Community Development. And I'm here to talk about Yoon So-chung. Like Mahmoud Khalil, Yoon So-chung is a Columbia student and permanent resident faced with deportation. Yoon So moved here from Korea at 7 years of age, was valedictorian of her high school, and until 3 days ago was being actively hunted by ICE. Yoon So stood up against Columbia University's support for genocide, just as our elders and ancestors stood against the occupation of Korea. She placed the cause for Palestinian liberation before her own security. And it's our job now to show her and Mahmoud that they're cared for and they're supported by all of us. People claim that Yoon So and Mahmoud invited repression into their lives, but compliance will never protect us. Collective power is what protects us. And now is not the time for despair. We need to show our government and the rest of the world how proud we are of these organizers like Yoon So and Mahmoud, and how their views are representative of a powerful and united movement. How all these cases are inseparable. This is not about immigration status. This is about our government punishing those it disagrees with. Those who expose the predatory nature of imperialism. This administration wants to make examples out of organizers because our efforts have been working. We've exposed countless institutions, companies, government officials for supporting Israeli apartheid and a bloody genocide, and they've been forced to suffer the consequences. This administration thinks they're weakening our movement. They think we'll cave into despair. But we have something that they could never comprehend. We have our humanity. We have our unrelenting hunger for liberation, and we have each other. They're fighting for money and luxury. We're fighting for our lives and for our martyrs. And look around. These are the organizers you can depend on. These are the people that will pack the court if ICE comes and kidnaps you in your home. These are the people that will continue to fight after Palestine is free. Up with liberation!
Up with liberation!
Down with Zionist occupation!
Down with Zionist occupation!
Up with liberation!
Up with liberation!
Down with... Yep.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Right now, Mahmoud's court hearing is being heard. Let's chant even louder. We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Free Mahmoud right now.
Free Mahmoud right now.
We want justice, you say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Free Mahmoud right now.
Free Mahmoud right now.
We want to next introduce an organization that has been here in Newark, building community ties, organizing and mobilizing. We want to introduce Larry Ham from the People's Organization for Progress.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. Why are we here today? We're here today because we demand freedom for Mahmoud Khalil. Mahmoud Khalil has been branded a criminal. He's been branded a criminal, and they kidnapped him and spirited him away to a prison in Louisiana. They labeled Mahmoud a criminal, but the real criminals are the ones that arrested Mahmoud and put him in jail. Those are the real criminals. We demand freedom and we demand justice for Mahmoud. We're standing here today in front of a statue of justice. It's supposed to be a symbolic representation of justice. And this statue has a blindfold, which is supposed to symbolize that justice is blind. But if justice were truly blind, Khalil Mahmoud would not be in prison. We're standing here today at a federal courthouse in Newark, New Jersey. But do you know the name of this federal courthouse? It's right there in front of you on the lawn. Believe it or not, this is the Martin Luther King Federal Courthouse. Imagine that, putting Martin Luther King's name on an institution that in fact practices injustice. I believe that if Martin Luther King were alive today, and if he happened to be in New Jersey, he would be standing here with us demanding justice for Mahmoud Khalil. We demand justice for Mahmoud, but we also demand an end to the genocidal war in Gaza. And we also demand an end to military aid to Israel. Brothers and sisters, I'm 71 years old. I was a student at Princeton University in the 1970s, in 1974, when we were campaigning against the racist apartheid regime in South Africa. We took over at Princeton University. We took over Nassau Hall, a federally recognized landmark. We took it over for 3 days and 3 nights. We took it over and no one was arrested. The police didn't even show up. No one was arrested. For 50 years, students at Princeton had protested for all different causes for justice. No one was ever arrested. But after the initiation of this genocidal war in Gaza, they intensified the oppression not only of the people of Palestine, but they intensified the oppression and repression of people at home. We demand justice for all the students who have been protesting against the genocidal war in Gaza. In 2 weeks, a student at Princeton will go on trial. She was arrested. She was a graduate student. She will go on trial. And so will students across this country. But I tell you, it is not these students who should be on trial. It is the college, university presidents that will not stand up for freedom of speech. Don't preach to me about how these universities are some type of citadels for democracy, that somehow they are the guardians of the Bill of Rights. They are locking up students. They've locked up students all over this country. But I tell you this, it is the students who are on the right side of history. Just as students protested against the war in Vietnam, just as students protested against apartheid in South Africa, the students today who are demanding human rights, who are demanding liberation, who are demanding an end to genocide in Gaza, they are on the right side of history. And brothers and sisters, I stand with you in complete solidarity. There's no sunlight between us. In solidarity to demand justice for Mahmoud Khalil, but I would be deleterious in my responsibility as an activist if I did not stand here and also demand freedom from Amir Abu-Jamal. I would be remiss in my duty if I did not demand freedom.
What's up, Sarge? How you doing? I got it shaved off for the springtime. Alright, let's see what we got here. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Hey, boss.
I'll just do this because I know you're a little busy.
I'm going to try to get a little spot here.
Oh, wait, where's Marvin? Wait, Marvin, before you leave, I got to show you this. I think it's the shoulder.
Yeah, they still wanted. Actually, I'm going to go right over your shoulder right there, if you don't mind.
All right, don't even stand. She's across the Atlantic right now, man. She's going to be standing on that. She lives.
Yeah. No pressure. That ain't going to work. Okay, I've got to find something else. I know, but my leg goes off here. Let me see if I can.
I can move the cart and stuff.
How's that?
Yeah, if you want a shot of the back of my head. Let me move that coffee.
you.
Yeah? Okay.
Let's rotate so Kelly can get into this room a little bit. Thanks, guys.
I like that, Pharrell. That one looks good. Prop it right on top of the head.
Thanks, guys.
You need like a small, like mini, stand to put yours onto.
That coffee's good. You know that bean coffee? No. Well, like, I got Dunkin' earlier. There's a famous, you go up here and you make a right, and it's like, unbelievable famous coffee shop. Why do you do it to yourself? Drink Dunkin'. Well, I don't know. I got here early, and that was the only thing I saw, so I took a little lap around the place, and it was just Dunkin'. I got here early and just moved from one building to the next. Right. Couldn't figure it out. It's beautiful out there. Yeah.
That's what a lot of people are there. They're all Russian. It's just Russian. Russian, half of it is. Things that are happening in New Jersey. Both of your lungs are going to go. But not both. That's a good point. I
1, 2, 3, 5. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No problem. Okay, good. Or try it. 1. Yep. No problem. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Good. All right. Good. Cool. All right.
Now the joke's on him.
Yada yada. Okay. Yeah, that's working.
Here, so if you want to go like here or even here, it's probably fine.
Yeah.
You get.
That's one thing I was worried about. I was like, should I have come earlier? But then I was like, I can wait there.
nice to meet you. Yeah, associates at ATR. Oh, nice to meet you. And they were like, okay. You are your own person. Person in New Jersey covering that bill. They just ran it in entirety, and I was like, this is great. Cool show.
Oh, so you want me to come out and go down to that light and come back around? Does anybody want to come with me?
go. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. How do we sound? Good. All right. Cool. Thanks, man.
That's fine.
suit chapel, dude. It's funny, like, Skippy was just like, exactly like, and I hate everything about it. It's just dude suit. It's like I tried it. It's funny. Some of the lyrics that are bored, like in the tongue, I try to get into myself like it's not a dark suit, and then I'm just like that man's got money, and he's going to custom suits. Secondary suits of diamonds and but they didn't tell or what I was going to say is that I was in Denmark one day, I was talking to this other guy, this was like a DJ at the casino. He's like, oh, I came to the casino. Yeah, this is custom. I was like, well, where? I was like, yeah, well, what shop did you get? He's like, yeah, he's like, it was like he was almost uncomfortable by my like poorness, like it was just like no, like actual tailors that you go to, and I was, and like full disclosure, like that's what the conversation was it's like we've never been there, but like they do it. I know, right? So I'm Jim. Please do.
Nice to meet you. I don't know anything.
What? No, it's not.
This is the way it's going to have to be. I said that before this whole thing got done. So
It's not same light. Not all light stands are created equal.
this one belonged to Manny.
Did it?
Yes, it did. It was given to me. Pull that out.
Hold on. You guys are talented, man. That's really cool.
You already swap yours for my next trip.
Yeah, Mac, high swap, yeah.
Nice job, guys. I can't. I like
Eh.
the stand.
Well, it was like below. There you go. Okay. Happy? Billy, good?
Mic check, test, mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2, testing, nothing happening, just checking mic, check. No. Well, 1, 2, mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2.
What's my money?
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Like I prepared 6 scenarios for doing scenario.
Hello.
Funciona ahí, Rafa. Ahí en menos en el piso.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Oye, yo agarré ese huequito. Yo agarré ese huequito.
Great. I'm glad we're all on the same boat.
Mejor así, si me dicen algo.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Okay.
Digo, no van a decir cuando, bueno, ¿y cómo Rafa sí tenía un tiro y igual lo metió uno?
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3, testing testing.
Okay. Yeah. Got you. Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second. Is that better or should I go higher? Super duper higher. I can't angle this with the attachment that I have. Wait, actually, 1 second. Yeah, I've been changing the leg, but I think I can change the ball itself. Okay, is that good? Yeah. Okay, 1 second. Rotate clockwise? Awesome. Yeah. All right. I'm uploading the photos right now to Drive. All right. No problem. Bye.
I have a clamp. I can clamp it. Okay. Thank you. Good job. Are they coming with us? They're not coming with us.
That was suggestive. I see it now. I'm feeling a deep fleeing. Do you know yes? Am I completely? No, I did not.
Exactly, that's what I thought. I saw that. Yep, I saw that. All right, I gotta go inside. Look at my spot, my friend.
I will.
Okay, I got my. I thank you. I got my mic on. My mic's on.
This guy's making a garage you can stand up.
I know, seriously. Yes, I'm gonna move. I'm moving. I'm not gonna be anywhere near him.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maya Raposo. I'm the Communications Director at the ACLU of New Jersey. Today I'll be introducing three members on behalf of Mr. Khalil. They will each be speaking for 1 minute. Please save all questions for the end. First, I'd like to introduce Bahar Amzi, the Legal Director for the Center for Constitutional Rights, who presented argument today.
Good morning. My name is Bahar Azmi, A-Z-M-Y, from the Center for Constitutional Rights. We're in court today because the United States government, after arresting our client, Mahmoud Khalil, spirited him overnight to Louisiana in order to avoid the jurisdiction of the courts in New York and New Jersey. We were here to insist that the court take jurisdiction of this case, bring him back to New Jersey, and then immediately thereafter rule on his request for release, request for bail, and rule on his broader petition that his detention is unconstitutional because, as we said in court, this is not any routine immigration case or habeas transfer case. This is a case where the United States government has created a policy targeting Palestinian activists and specifically Mahmoud Khalil for arrest, detention, and potential removal because the United States government disagrees with his constitutionally protected right to dissent from U.S. foreign policy. So what they've done in court today is dangerous. What they're ultimately trying to do to so many student activists is chilling.
Next, you'll be hearing from Razmi Qasim, co-director of CLEAR.
Good morning, Ramzi Qasim. Yeah, sure. Good morning, Ramzi Qasim, CLEAR Project, RAMZIKASSEM. The most important thing to keep in mind about what's going on with Mr. Khalil is that he is not alone. There are people behind you who are here for him, who are still standing in solidarity with the Palestinian people in defense of their human rights, and in solidarity with the many others at this point who, like Mr. Khalil, are either in ICE custody because of their constitutionally protected speech or are at risk of ICE detention and deportation because of their speech and their viewpoints, which the government happens to disagree with. So the most important thing to take away from today is that no matter what happens in court, what's most important is for all of us to keep up the pressure to let this government know that it cannot suppress speech, any form of speech, including pro-Palestinian speech, and that what happens outside of court is oftentimes much more important than whatever takes place in court. The judge, of course, is going to make his ruling. That is, we've done all we can on that front, and we await that ruling. The part that we can control is keeping the pressure up because, of course, the government is banking on these people behind you who are protesting, who are rallying for Mahmoud and the others to dissipate. They're banking on media attention dissipating so that they can get away with doing what they are doing to Mahmoud and the others. And so it's very important for all of us to keep up our efforts and to keep up our work until Mahmoud is home.
Free Mahmoud! Fuck fascists! Free Mahmoud!
Thank you so much. Lastly, we'll bring up Executive Director of ACLU of New Jersey, Amol Sinha.
Good morning. Amol Sinha, Executive Director, ACLU New Jersey, AMOLSINHA. As we await the court's ruling, what I am reminded of is the egregious nature of what the government has done. It is anti-democratic, un-American, illegal, and unconstitutional to suppress speech, censor somebody, detain them, and attempt to deport them and revoke their green card for speaking their mind. Regardless of where you might fall on the ideological spectrum, regardless of what your speech is, if you care about free speech, if you care about democracy, if you care about the pro-Palestinian or any other sort of advocacy that folks have in this country, you should be outraged by what the government has done to our client, Mahmoud Khalil. Look, as we await the decision from today's hearing, I want to make sure that we echo what we're seeing in the streets. The momentum is with us, the people are with us, and the power is with us. It's important for us to stand strong and continue because we're not going to back down when our government tries to attack our most fundamental and most bedrock principles of our democracy. Thank you so much.
Can you just talk a little bit about the arguments we just heard in there were extremely technical case law arguments. What is your interpretation of why the government is spending so much time arguing this issue of whether the case should be heard not here but in Louisiana, rather than move along to all the other issues that they claim they also want to move quickly on?
Yeah, the government's motivation here is to delay and, as much as possible, the adjudication of the actual legality of their unconstitutional actions. They want to avoid that, and they also want to claim power, to take power away from the courts and the court's jurisdiction, and have their own authority to move someone wherever they want, and therefore try and avoid the jurisdiction or power of this court to actually hear their claims.
Could you explain to us, there was reference to something contextualized with the Tufts student, that you seem to have information about what the government is doing, and then also the judge made reference to one line where he wanted to know if the government had accepted that Christy Nome had, that they had jurisdiction of her. Can you talk about that one sentence? Is really powerful, isn't it, Counselor?
So, yeah, the court was asking the United States government, even if the custodian in Louisiana isn't before the court, does the court have the power to issue an order to the Secretary of Homeland Security, who is named? The government scarily equivocated on that point. There is no doubt that that the court has power to issue an order to the Secretary of Homeland Security to bring Mahmoud Khalil back to this district. Do you want to take the?
Sure. The case, well, the incident that my colleague alluded to with the student at Tufts, Ms. Rumeza Ozturk, a graduate student, most people have seen the video of how masked ICE agents took her when she was headed to Iftar to break the fast. What happened in her case is that her lawyers did go to court in Massachusetts, and they did obtain an order from the court that was supposed to prohibit the government from moving her. But because the government had already moved her across state lines, the government took the position in that case that the order was ineffectual, which was the answer to the judge's question today, because he was asking appropriately whether that would be a solution. And unfortunately, the way the government is moving in these cases shows that it would not be a solution. They will move people across state lines, as they did with Ms. Ozturk, as they did with Mr. Khalil, as they did with Dr. Suri, and others at this point, in order to avoid the sorts of court orders that the judge today was asking about. So going back to the fundamental question, the reason they are fighting so hard on jurisdiction, as extraordinary as that is because they want to buy time. They want to buy time in the hope that all of you will go away, buy time in the hope that all of these people will go away, and so that they can get away with what they're trying to do to Mr. Khalil and to others.
Mr. Khalil's wife is...
of your argument when you're up at the podium.
What's the question?
What did you think of the judge's questions to you in your argument while you were up at the podium?
The judge is extremely smart, very well prepared, asked hard questions for sure that we were ready for, and we're optimistic that when he retires to chambers and reviews the briefs, he'll agree with us and reject the dangerous position proffered by the government.
Mr. Khalil's wife is due very soon. Can you give us an update on how he's doing, on how often they're able to speak, and just, how she's feeling inside?
As everybody can imagine, Noor Abdullah, Mr. Khalil's wife, is going through an extremely difficult period of time. She has said publicly that Mr. Khalil was her main support during her pregnancy. He prepared all her meals. He made sure she took the medications she needed to take. The fact that he was taken away from her in her 8 months of pregnancy, she's supposed to give birth in April. She is a U.S. citizen. Their child will be a U.S. citizen. He was a green card holder. They had every reason to expect stability and to look forward to the birth of their first child. Instead, she has to wonder whether he will be here when that child is born. And that is an injustice that I think everyone here, certainly the people in the back who have massed consistently to support Mr. Khalil and to support the human rights of Palestinians, oppose and object to. And I think most Americans would also find that objectionable. That's not how the government should move. There's no reason for him to be in detention, no matter what the government's claims are on the immigration side. He should be with his family, and he can fight his case in immigration court from there.
And just we have time for one more question. One more question.
I have a question about the timeline here. I believe in court that one of the jurisdictional cases that was brought up was decided in 2 years. So are you saying this would take that long, or?
You mean this court's decision? No, we expect, and he signaled that he's going to try and decide as quickly as possible.
Mr. Asmi, how disappointing was it that he would not take up your argument for bail today? You still believe that's the most urgent question?
We would have preferred that he heard our arguments on bail today and decided everything together as quickly as possible. But we're hopeful that he will decide this issue, this jurisdictional issue first, and then move very, very quickly to decide the bail motion, given the sort of outrageous circumstances of this case and the exigent circumstances of this case, including now running over 2 weeks of confinement and his wife's impending birth.
Thank you so much for all the questions. We're going to be facilitating one-on-one interviews on the side, if everyone would like. Thank you so much for coming today.
That's a microphone right there. I don't know who that was. Yeah, it's a little one.
There's a hole there. That's why
Yep.
he fell in the hole.
And it looks like, who's this, Telesor or Telemundo lost theirs, yeah. Yeah, I better put that back. I found it then.
You're gonna refeed?
It's feeding right now.
Okay, good, good.
I don't know. Maybe it's with this camera when you record something happens.
Something. All right, let's find a nice, safe little spot with them in the background, and we'll try to.
Yeah, I guess my light's in the car, so I don't much time.
Oh, thank you.
That's why I'm being a little anal about putting it
Either his lawyer or the lawyer's asking.
Oh, that's not me.
Oh, shit. Where's EP?
He's
EP.
I don't know which one. All right, I'll tell you. There's the heavyset guy. He was the lawyer for the argument. And he had like several. And I think you could say it was his main lawyer. There's so many facets to the case, but he was the main lawyer making the argument on why this case was heard in here. Yeah, the heavyset fellow has me at this last.
So we believe the wife is gone, is that correct?
Yes.
That's not my license.
That's what I'm saying. I want to like comparative history. It's like, okay, like the Mughal Empire, this can
thought the bus was coming at noon for them.
Stick mics on your stick.
Okay, thanks.
That's my camera.
Oh.
You can back it down for me. If you want.
The 7th grade is my favorite age bracket. They're still like, look at that really like kitty wackiness, but they're starting to develop sense and can talk to them out of order. Like, level.
How you doing, John?
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, you're based.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We did the dance.
Oh, yeah. Every day of my life is like that. Every day.